Yo, yo, what's going on? You tuned in to another 056 Family Show. And you already know what this is, man. It's your boy No Mercy, man, coming to y'all with another show, man. Another crazy topic, man. And this has been like the little trending thing that's been really been going on and kind of been a little bit disturbing, right? So we gonna jump right into it. Uh so here we got a 63-year-old pastor, Dwight Reed, and here we have a 18 or 19-year-old girl named Jordan Goodlett or something like that, and this is like some very crazy things that's going on, and it's right out of Des Moines, Iowa, um, the church, and we gonna get into something, man. But I mean, come on, dude. Like you 63 years old, marrying an 18-year-old girl. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? But we got some. I got some things that I'm gonna play for you guys, and you guys just make sure you guys um like the video, share, subscribe, and don't be afraid to comment, man, and tell me what y'all think about this, man, because this is crazy, man. This is why a lot of people lose faith in the Christianity churches because due to the stuff that's going on. Now, I've been reading a lot of articles, man, going through a lot of articles, and the more and more I I read and listen to it, it's just it sounds like a lot of pedophile stuff. It sounds like a lot of um. And once again, I'm not insinuating that anybody's a pedophile or whatever, because legal purpose. You know how people want to play it or whatever. Um, so I'm gonna say allegedly. Uh, Also, you got a lot of stuff that's going on, blackmailing, and we know Hollywood. That's the name. That's the name of the game, blackmail. You know, so yeah, let's just get into one of these articles, man. Cause and then I'm gonna give y'all my opinion, my point of view of it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and break some of this stuff down, man. So I'm gonna let this play for y'all.
A 63-year-old Bishop of Christ Apostolic Temple in Iowa, has married his former student and the teenage daughter of one of his ministers right after her 18th birthday, the Associated Press is reporting. Bishop Dwight Reed met the girl when she was around 14 years of age while he was counseling her parents who were going through a divorce at the time. The
Okay, right there. Now you met the girl when she was 14. Um, and she was a student at one of you. I guess you like got a little school or something or whatever the case may be. And Des Moines, Iowa, I done been to Des Moines, Iowa. I know a few people in Des Moines, Iowa. So it's nothing. I'm finna go get some info on this guy in this church. Something deeper. It's not no problem. Everybody that's from Chicago, a lot of you guys, we either go to Iowa, we either go to Minnesota, or we go to Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Or some of them go to Indiana. Um, so going back and forth to Des Moines, Iowa, yeah, I'm gonna get some info on this a little bit more. But you was counseling this girl parents that was going through a divorce at the time. Mm. Let's keep listening.
family later joined his church and their daughter 16-year-old Jordan Goodlett became a church member. The pastor reportedly told members that he had eyes on her since she was 14. She is now 18.
Okay, so you been having eyes on this little girl since she was 14, allegedly. 14 years old, man. You been having. So yes, that is a sign of pedophilia. Because anytime a grown man cut his eyes at a 14-year-old and he look at her in that kind of way, in a sexual way or marriage way, we know what's up with that, man. You got something going on, man, and and it's a lot of foul play. So let's keep going.
18. Reed reportedly returned to take over as pastor of Christ Apostolic Temple and as dean of its school in 2017. The girl would have been 15 to 16 years old at this time. It is through his role as pastor, school dean, and counselor that he allegedly gained an inroad to Jordan and began grooming her to later be brought into his service and control. The bishop was allegedly accused of similar unethical relationships with young girls in Shreveport, LA, where he previously pastored. He has been married and divorced 3 times, with Jordan being his 4th wife. Although the marriage is legal, the breach of ethics and breach of fiduciary responsibility are not. This child was clearly groomed, according to sources. Concerned members of the church and citizens of Iowa have started a petition on change.org asking the Des Moines District Attorney's Office and Police Department to open an investigation into Dwight Reed's alleged improprieties.
Okay, so you mean to tell me, man, you been grooming this little girl since she was underage, and in the state of Iowa, the consent is 16. So you know they almost kind of saying at 16 you legal, which that's foul play right there. That's foul play. Also, you got the same similarity stuff that you doing now. You had this going on in Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, Shreveport, Louisiana is probably like what, about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours away from Dallas, Texas. Been out there a few times, gamble and things like that or whatever. And yeah, this dude here, man, this is some crazy stuff right here. You've been married 3 times, divorced 3 times, and then you married Jordan, the young lady Jordan, and she became your 4th wife. Now, that's off one article. We got a whole now. So a lot of things been rambling up on the social media. So Jordan had took to social media, and I'm gonna read this off for you guys. She said, first of all, I want to thank everyone who attended my wedding on Monday. I'm grateful that each one of you took time out your day to attend a very important moment of my life. And I also want to thank those that have congratulated me on my marriage. That means a lot to me as well. Second of all, I would like to inform you all that getting married was my decision. I had second thoughts and I was nervous, but my choice I made, but my she said, but my choice, I am now Jordan Reed. Sorry about that. Um, that was something that I decided to do. Me and my husband have decided how ah my bad. I'm a little tired, but I gotta get this out the way. She said, me and my husband have discussed how crazy this is for the last 3 months. Yet I decided to move forward in what God has led me to do. I'm moving forward and having faith in God every step of the way. I know everyone has their own opinion, true, about this, and it doesn't surprise me that people don't agree with it. After me saying this, I'm sure people will keep talking. People say what they want to say, regardless. So I have the right as well. Um, the the only option, the only option that I'm thinking of is in the situation is God, because He knows all and sees all. He know the past, present, and future. So trust in Him. So the trust is in Him. If you feel more comfortable unfriending me or never speaking to me after what I said, then fine. We all got our own lives. to live before we die. And by the way, my last name is Miss Reed now. Now this is what she took to social media. Whew. This is something crazy. I got some more stuff I'm gonna play for y'all. Give me a second. There you go.
When the Iowa Attorney General's office issued a report last year about sex abuse by Catholic clergy, it also publicized a hotline for people from any denomination to call with similar concerns about that taboo topic in their own places of worship. Since March 21st, 7 calls have involved the 53-year-old Christ Apostolic Temple in Des Moines. The calls follow online chatter about the November 2021 marriage of the church's thrice-divorced, 63-year-old bishop and pastor to a 19-year-old he had been offering special guidance to as dean of the church school. It's not illegal to marry someone so much younger if they've reached the age of legal consent, which in Iowa is 16. But Bishop Dwight Reed's critics, some of them former church members, have taken to social media to challenge his actions, contending he used his position to facilitate a personal relationship with someone over whom he had authority. They're calling for an investigation by outside authorities. Information for this column was gleaned from in-depth interviews with 7 people close to the church, hours of recorded and live forums on social media, including recordings on the Clubhouse and Facebook Live social media services, and recordings of Reed's Sunday services. Several people I interviewed said they feared retaliation and asked that I not publish their names. Reed has announced in his Sunday church services that he will air the dirty laundry of those who speak ill of him. And he has followed through. Dwight Reed and his wife declined through a church secretary to speak to me. Former church member says pastor is a predator. In announcing their engagement, Reed and Jordan Goodlett said their marriage was God's plan. But people close to the families suggest that Goodlett was pressured, telling me that she expressed reservations and made efforts to call the wedding off both the day before and the day of. They believe that she ultimately succumbed to pressure from Reed and her father, a musician on the church payroll. A picture on the church website and a Facebook page shows the two smiling happily. A screenshot of a Facebook post attributed to Jordan Goodlett, which was sent to me by a source, says she had second thoughts but married of her free will and I'm moving forward and having faith in God every step of the way. It concludes, my last name is Reed now.
All right. So now from some of the sources that was being talked about, they was saying that the mom had a problem with it and she wasn't agreeing to it, but the dad was like, no. Allegedly, right? They saying the dad was like, "Oh, he got money when he died. It's all yours." Blase, blase, right? Allegedly. So now the father and the pastor, Pastor Reed, uh, pressure her into marriage. Also, the father was on the payroll as a as a musician, so he was being paid. Now, this brings me this what I question, right? Let we gonna put the past to the side and then we gonna go straight to the father. Is it me or this sound like a R. Kelly situation? Is because it sounded like you sold your daughter, dude. It sounded like you sold your daughter. It sounded like you sold your daughter to this dude, man. All this stuff going on in the world, and you sell your child to a pastor. Now, it said he had his eyes on her ever since he was 14. Now, I don't know if this true or not or whatever. If y'all hear something in the background, that's my dog. She like snoring like she just get out of work. Scott, I'm recording. Thank you. Snoring. But back to it. Sorry about that though. But I mean, dude, you now I'm starting to question like, okay, cause it don't make sense. He had his eyes on this little girl since she was 14 years old. He married her at 18, right after her birthday. Now, just like the black community, I know how y'all thinking. Y'all thinking like he had to been messing with her, right? He had to been having some type of sexual relationships with her underage. Now, the state of Iowa laws is at 16 consent. Uh, it says it's not legal to marry someone so much as younger if they reach the age of legal consent, which in Iowa it is 16. 16. That's I don't care what nobody say. That's pedophilia. That's still a baby, man. That's still a child. That's still a child. No matter how you cut it, no matter how you look at it, that's still a child, dude. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And a father, you should be even more ashamed of yourself for even pressuring your daughter to go through something like that all over some money, bro. Like some money, bro. But this ain't nothing new. It's because people been selling their kids. They been selling their kids. And you foul play, my guy. Foul play. And then it get me wondering, just like everybody else that got a brain, was the father touching his daughter? Just saying. I'm just asking the question. Y'all groomed this little girl into condolence this type of behavior. But we gonna keep this thing rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Though the wedding was in November, many people affiliated with the church were prompted to speak up after a former church member, Jashm Napier, took to
Now the people in the church is at an uproar, but uh eh, let's just keep going.
Facebook, using a pseudonym, to call Reed a predator masking himself as a man of God. She accused him of using his power and privilege as a pastor to groom a teenager for marriage. Napier was among several people who told me that, a few years earlier, Reed told the congregation he'd be taking Goodlett under his wing for special attention as she was struggling with the impending divorce of her parents.
Now, what that sound like to y'all? Now the parents going through a divorce and you decide to just put the girl under your wings and just start grooming her? Like something wrong with you, dude. For real. Something's wrong with you, man. You
Parents. They also said that she spent time in his home and on outings with him from about age 16 and that he bought her a car as a graduation gift.
Now let's be real. She's spending time with him at his house. How's she getting to his house? Who took him? Now allegedly, this is what that's being thrown out there, that the father was taking the little girl and dropping her off at his house. Crazy, man. We don't know how true that is allegedly, but I mean, if that is true, it won't. I won't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? And then you buying her gifts, graduation gifts, a car. I know we in a reception and we heading to a Great Depression, but come on, man. Come on, man. Stop the foolery, man.
Gift. It's not okay, it's not normal. Black Women Matter, Napier posted in reference to the church's predominantly African American membership and leadership. I am sick of black women being treated like we don't matter. We matter, it's time our stories from surviving Christ Apostolic be told. That post, which went on to denounce Reed, has attracted national engagement on Facebook and Clubhouse. Reed has since devoted his last two Sunday services to fighting back. Texas Bishop says he is planning an Iowa trip to rally against Reed. In returning my call to Dwight Reed, Church Secretary Sherry Pruitt said the bishop wouldn't be speaking while the church is pursuing legal matters, and she guided me to the church's Facebook page, where a March 23 letter from the Quilty law firm is posted. It's directed at a bishop from Houston who has been outspoken in calling for Reed to be criminally investigated and removed from his position. Bishop Demetrius Senegal is presiding bishop of Kingdom Churches in Covenant and the pastor of the Kingdom Church of Houston, Texas, which is also of the apostolic denomination. He's also the founder of Safe House Unmuzzled, an advocacy group for victims of clergy abuse. The Quilty law firm letter accuses Senegal of making false, malicious, and defamatory statements about the couple and about Dwight Reed's previous behavior with women, and threatens legal action unless he removes the statements from his social media platform. Since coming upon Napier's post, and doing his own digging, Senegal has been organizing against Reed. He has also launched a Change.org petition calling for a criminal investigation by police and the Polk County Attorney. He said he plans a trip to Des Moines in April to rally people to action. Marriages of teenagers are not uncommon at apostolic churches, Senegal said. In earlier times, he said, women were literally property and could effectively be sold by their fathers. But an age disparity this large, he said, is unusual. What is Christ Apostolic Temple and who are its leaders? Apostolic churches are a Christian denomination with Pentecostal origins. The name is in reference to Jesus' 12 apostles. Bishops are generally consecrated by an ecumenical council of bishops within a region. Dwight Reed was baptized by his father and pastor, and filled with the Holy Ghost in 1972 at Calvary Church of God in Des Moines, says a biography on the church's website. He began his preaching ministry at 18 years of age. He succeeded his father as minister at Christ Apostolic Temple Incorporated a few years ago, not long before his father died, according to the website. According to an obituary published in 2018, Bishop Jeremiah Reed became a pastor in Des Moines in 1969. He helped develop programs to help youth offenders and people struggling with substance abuse and hunger, according to the obituary. His ministry touched the lives of thousands locally, but also reached billions more through the Apostolic Oneness Network television station, around the world, the obituary said. A non-profit agency formed by the church in 2003 came under scrutiny a few years later over alleged misspending. Marriages of teenagers called commonplace. Dwight Reed previously preached at a church in Louisiana. Senegal is one of several people, including from Reed's family, who have said that Jeremiah Reed excommunicated his son from the Des Moines church. Dwight Reed returned in 2000.
All right. So Jeremiah Reed, his father, excommunicated his own son from the Des Moines church. Now that tells me that the father knew something was wrong with the boy. But we gonna keep it going though.
In 2017 as his father's health was declining and took the helm. Under Reed's late father and predecessor, Napier wrote on Facebook, the Christ Apostolic Temple has been marrying off young girls for decades.
What? Y'all heard that? Oh wow. So this ain't nothing new when it come to this church, cause they been marrying off young girls. Mm. How many other kids been sold in that church to these men or women?
A longtime church member I spoke with, who attended when Jeremiah Reed was the bishop, said her 16-year-old daughter was betrothed to an 18-year-old man in 2006 while the surprised mother was watching the church service virtually. My late mother called me and said, "Your daughter's getting married," she said. I didn't want it, but didn't want to be badgered by his father. He wasn't nice when you didn't do what he wanted you to do. Under Jeremiah Reed, 1514-16-year-old girls were married to young men, she said. I know at least
Hey, what kind of
10 sets. Only one of those couples is still together.
so y'all been doing this stuff in this church this whole time, even under the father. Now I question the father. what's really going on. But we gonna keep getting to it.
together. Napier, who saw such arrangements take place, described them this way: the females would come up like livestock and the men would pick them. Responding to a Clubhouse Live discussion on such practices, Dwight Reed at a subsequent Sunday sermon insisted his father never forced people to get married. You jumped up when he asked who wanted to get married, he scoffed. You put your hands up. It was unclear if he was referring to the teens or their parents. Senegal says people are leaving the church every day in this climate. People are emotionally, spiritually, mentally fatigued, he said in a Clubhouse forum. There are numerous proven track record of attempts at intimidation, at muting and muzzling the mouths of people. He also
Once again, sound like blackmailing to me. Sound like blackmailing to me.
faulted what he called a level of apathy within the broader African American community about our responsibility to one another, especially as people of God. He said the misuse of power is enabled by admonitions to mind your business. Nobody's perfect. Pastor responds from the pulpit. Reed has devoted his last two Sunday services to decrying his critics and, in some cases, shaming them personally. Of Senegal, he said, we've got a preacher down in Houston running his mouth who's a homosexual. He then suggested his followers get stirred up against same-sex marriages. Senegal said that he's not gay but that such a claim against others weaponizes the idea within the church that homosexuality is ungodly. In response to a woman who quit the church and claimed in an online forum that Reed had threatened her, Reed chided, "You slept with a pastor for 8 years and he was married. Keep running your mouth, I'm going to put your business out there." He referred to his nieces, one of whom has spoken out publicly against him, as my rotten, no good nieces, called another critic a expletive, liar and agent of Satan, and responded this way to a woman.
Now you gonna call your own nieces Satan, but what you doing though? What you doing though? What you doing though?
Woman who said Reed had shown an inappropriate interest in her when she was 15, looking like a gorilla.
Wow. 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 This ain't new to this dude, man. This is nothing new to this pastor.
A gorilla. He shouted, "You are lying. Ain't nobody went after you since you were 10. Neither the
Wow.
Iowa Attorney General's office nor the Polk County Attorney's office is likely to launch investigations on this, according to people in both agencies, unless police file criminal complaints against Reed. The Attorney General's office is focusing on offering victim assistance to people who need it. People say they have called police but couldn't generate any interest. Des Moines Police Department spokesman Sergeant Paul Perizak said the department has had no reports and has no ongoing investigation involving Reed. A marriage between a 63-year-old and a teenager is troubling, especially when that man, as a pastor and church school dean, was in a position of authority over the young woman. Iowa lawmakers should also consider raising the age of legal consent. 16 is awfully young to marry. Also of concern is an issue Senegal has raised about the tacit acceptance by church members, sometimes expressed in the mantra to mind one's own business. A type of groupthink and even complicity can set in when loyalty to a charismatic leader, especially one interpreting the Word of God, becomes paramount. Now some longtime church members are choosing to leave, feeling the church hierarchy can't objectively investigate itself. That warrants an outside investigation.
Oh man. Oh man. And y'all wonder why a lot of people stop losing faith in these churches, man, with these preachers, man. But this ain't nothing new, man. This is nothing new. This is nothing new, man. Come on, man. Like seriously, dude. Like seriously, man. And you smiling like everything okay, man. And the father really should be held accountable for this, is because, dude, you really sold your daughter over to a pedophile, man, in a sense, to me, allegedly. You know, like That's not cool, man. And because at first it used to be the pastors going after these men wives. Now it's saying like some of these pastors going after these family kids. Look how much stuff that came out about these pastors. And I know. So, they're just certain pastors that's like that. That don't mean all pastors the same, right? I, that's cool, but in the same token, you have more drama and more scandals that come out of church than anything. Y'all groom this young lady, man. She ain't even her mind ain't even fully developed yet. You know, her mind is not even developed all the way. Some people be early on, catch on, snap of the finger. Then you have some people, that's late bloomers, man. But this girl wasn't in her right mind. She was forced into this. As they said, she was being groomed. So when you grooming a child, that child is not thinking on their own. They thinking how you want them to think, and you forcing them into situations just so you can have your way for some money, for some money. May God help y'all soul, man, cause y'all dead wrong for this, man. Y'all is dead wrong, and it's unacceptable. And yes, should something be done about it? Of course, the age limit should be raised up. I say, man, it should be raised up to at least about 22, 23, 24, 25, maybe, in order to be like consent. Like, yes, the age limit should 16 years old, consent, and all that stuff. And they said this church had a history of marrying young kids. Kids. These are kids. They not even fully out of high school yet. You know. Other sources allegedly, came out and said that this pastor was abusive in his other marriage. I don't know how true that is, allegedly. So, and also this ain't his first go around. He been doing that, been having the eyes of young girls. My question is to the father: how much money did you take? Didn't it say ain't it in the Bible about gaining the whole world just to lose your soul? So you is willing to sell off your child for some crumbs, something that's not real? Mm. Forget the pastor. Like the pastor already got a history of it. Ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody deemed them. Ain't nobody even. I mean, the father is really the one, man, cause she didn't want to do it, but y'all forced her and y'all pressure her into doing it, and y'all use Bible and God tactics in order to conquer. See, that's one thing about religion. And there's no disrespect to the religion people out there, regardless of what your belief is. There's no disrespect, but the religion thing that we gotta understand that's a practice. That's not even people worship religion more than they worship spirituality. Y'all put pastors before y'all put God. I don't care. I don't care what you preach in that book. You can preach whatever in your book. That don't mean I lost faith in God. I never had faith in man. So man can't tell me about God. It's because God already been written in my essence. It's already been written in me. They say, hey, God made you out of his image, right? And I'm not saying I'm a God, but I'm pretty sure God like, nah, I don't rock with this. And show me in the Bible to you Christian folks that this is acceptable. Show me, because you know a lot of people like to go to them scriptures and read them scriptures. Show me in this scripture, in the scripture, where this is acceptable. This is pedophilia. Hey, y'all selling these kids to the highest bidder. I hope that baby girl, man. I hope she able to. I hope God really come to her and really have a one on one with her and be like, hey, I ain't said this. I ain't said. And then again, also came out and God told him that it was gonna be his wife. Hey man, stop with the boo boo, man. Stop with the boo boo. And this is a young, beautiful little girl, man. Y'all then took this little girl future away from her, man. Y'all robbed this girl. The pastor and the father and the mother is because you stood there and you allowed this to keep going. Regardless of what parents do with their marriage, their relationship, the child is the innocent one. So even if you guys can't work out your own differences, it's still a child, man, that deserve more and deserve better. Y'all wrong and y'all foul. And y'all should be held fully accountable for this. This is your boy No Mercy. Y'all just tuned in to another 056 family show. Um, man, this is sad and sickening. Um, man, protect your kids, man. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if they dangling little gifts in your man. Don't take it. It ain't worth it, man. I wish you guys nothing but peace, happiness, and prosperity, man. And we, as the people, need to continue to protect our children out here, even if they ain't ours. We gotta protect them, man. So that's all I gotta say, and I'm out.